Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Wickham Simonds. This is Michelle Kennedy, and this is the Dr. Simonds Metabolics and Weight Loss. Ask Me Anything, Facebook, Ask Me Anything. A live event on Monday, April the 18th. We're answering your questions about weight loss today, as we always do. And we have a $25 Target gift card giveaway today. Michelle, how does one enter to win the $25 Target gift card?
So to be eligible, we ask you to do two things. We want you to like this video and comment #SimonsAMA in the comment section. If you do that at the end of this show, we will draw a winner, and then we will contact you with the details.
There you go. There you go. So make sure you're entering. If you took the time to watch, you got a pretty decent chance of winning, because it's not like there's 10,000 people yet that watch this, but still, a lot of them do after the fact. But the ones that do it live, a lot of them people at work, so they watch it later. So you got a pretty good chance of winning live. I mean, the numbers aren't too bad. Anyway, let's see. We had the Easter weekend, and this is Easter Monday, so some of you are off work today.
Oh, yes. So we may have more live viewers.
That's
if so, please enter the gift card and comment, and you can ask us questions live as well. Even though we do have questions to cover, we will answer anything that gets asked live in the comment section. Yeah.
I mean, I was checking the story. I was thinking about this. It's 43 degrees outside and raining on Easter Monday. It's pretty awful. I'm thinking, wait a minute, you know, the scriptural account of Jesus and rising from the dead, there was no recorded rain and cold weather the next day, you know. So I'm kind of thinking, man, I wanted to ask God this morning, hey, could you warm it up, of course, kind of like in the spirit of the holiday and stuff? But
they will warm. It will get warm later this week. I think it's like mid-80s over the weekend. So we're going to have a huge swing in our area.
Answer,
yeah, maybe it's just a little delayed. Yeah. Say, be patient.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Elise and Lori, for entering. Keep those entries coming.
Gosh, yeah. Okay, well, let's get on to the first question. We were talking about sleep on the last show, and I talked about how important sleep was and to your weight loss and REM sleep in particular. And then I said we were going to have a special on supplements to help you sleep, and we started the special. I'll tell you about that with this question. But this is Janice from Raleigh, and she wants to talk about it. And she says, I was interested in your last discussion about sleep and weight loss. How do I know if I'm getting enough REM sleep, and do dreams happen during REM? Okay. So I think the answer to that second part is yes, dreams do happen during the REM. Rapid eye movement sleep is what REM stands for. So there's different stages of sleep. You don't have to, this doesn't have to be a big lecture on sleep. I wouldn't be the one that's qualified to give that lecture anyhow. I just know that the REM type is the stuff where you get the real rest, and it kind of calibrates your body. And when you're not getting it, this is a real problem with weight loss.
And other things.
Yes.
Right. Weight loss is a huge piece, but sleep is so important for our brains. And I think there's so many things that happen during sleep that we never understood. And the whole idea of I'll sleep when I'm dead, you may be dead sooner, because sleep is so important. If you're not getting, I've heard 6.5 hours is really a minimum. How about you?
That's about right.
Yeah.
But I think this first part of Janice's questions, how do I know if I'm getting enough?
Yeah.
It's possible to get less than 6.5 hours and feel really rested. That just means you got into REM faster and stayed in there longer. And so, you should feel rested when you get up if you got the correct amount of REM sleep. So that's kind of the simple, what they call the poor man's guide, is to, hey, did I get enough without going and doing a sleep study? Now you can pay money and go do a sleep lab. The problem that I would have with something like that is, in a strange environment, I never really get into a deep sleep anyway, so I'm not sure it'd be an accurate study for myself, but anyway, whether it's 8 hours or 6.5 hours or 5 hours or 10 hours, you should feel really rested when you arise. Now, because when I see people on plateaus and their diets in order and stuff like that, and they're not losing, many times it's because they're not sleeping correctly, you see. And so anyway, there's some things that I use that help me, and And so supplement wise, I think we have some options that have been got a lot of good feedback about and that I've tried and I really like. And so I want to talk for a minute about a product that Maternal makes that we carry here at the office. One is a tincture, an oil tincture called Cbd Rest. It's full spectrum CBD, and it has an extra amount of CBN. CBN is the oil that's in the hemp plant that's responsible for helping you relax and go to sleep and stay to sleep. And so you put a dropper full of this under your tongue about a half hour before you go to bed. That usually does the trick. Sometimes I'll use 1.5 droppers. This allows me to get to sleep, to stay to sleep. And when I get up, say to use the bathroom, I can lay back down and get right back into a deep sleep. And if I only slept 6 hours, I always feel rested when I use it. And so I'll use this almost every night. The other thing is the CBD Rest Gummy. Some of you don't like the oil, so we got the gummies. And this is a little more palatable. I don't know, there's something about a gummy. It's like if you're a kid again, you get a piece of candy or something. It does have 2 grams, I think, of carbohydrate in there in each gummy, which is a small amount, really, in the grand scheme of things. If you're getting enough sleep, I'm perfectly okay with this. 1 or 2 of these in the evening. Last night I took 2, and that worked great for me. So the special that we're running on these things, so normally the rest oil is $45 and it's $30. We're selling this for $30. You're not going to find that special anywhere else. And that's a real deal. So it's $15 off. The gummies are way more expensive. If you go online and try to buy these, are $65, and I'm selling them for $35. It's a wrong price tag on here. It's $35 for the gummies, so it's $30 off. And then the other product that we have, if you're perimenopausal or menopausal, this is the reason behind your sleep is a hormonal thing. And so there's a product that Metagenics makes called Estravera, and we're selling that for $30. You just take 1 tablet an hour or so before you go to bed, and we have gotten very, very good feedback on this. And so I think in terms of the other symptoms that you might experience, like hot flashes and those things, it gets a whole lot better with this. And it's a natural supplement. It's not a prescription synthetic hormone type medication. So anyway, that's really the deal there. And we're going to run these specials at least through June the 1st. I want people to have a chance to try those. We may extend the special that much longer if it's really popular. I think that if you try it, you'll find it's very, very helpful. And I want people to know what it is and to at least have a shot to do it, because a lot of times the sleep things are things that if you go get a prescription pill, for example, you're tired the next day, or even some of the other over-the-counter stuff, you're groggy. And these things don't make you feel like that. I really like them.
Yeah, waking up actually feeling rested is so important. And we added a link, you'll see on the side here, about a sleep blog that we did, so you can reference that. And the products are available in the offices. So in our Raleigh location off Falls and Noose, and then our Durham location at South Point. And you don't have to be a patient to get them, or you can buy them for someone else. I know a lot of folks buy our products as gifts for people. And if you know anyone who could use a gift of better sleep, definitely worth trying this. Definitely worth trying it. The producer saying, yes, sleep is critical for overall health. It is. This is absolutely, absolutely true. And did we address, yes, that's where dreams happen? Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
so yes.
Where dreams happen. Yes. So thank you again for joining Dr. Simonds Metabolics. Ask Me Anything, Facebook Live, Monday, April the 18th. You can enter to win a $25 Target gift card. Unfortunately, it will be of no use to you to pay your federal income taxes, which are due today. So,
yeah. But you can buy something really nice. If it stings, you'll feel better.
That's right. You win the gift card, you have to spend it on yourself. You want to give it to Uncle Sam, he won't determine how your $25 $25 gift card is spent. It's all yours.
Yes.
Look at the positive side.
Yes. And the way you're going to get that is you're going to like this video and you're going to comment hashtag Simonds AMA. And thank you so much to Elise, Lori, Susie, and Candace for entering so far, as well as Annette. Annette just got in. So thank you so much to all of y'all for joining us. And if you haven't yet done it, hashtag Simonds AMA and like this video, please. So let's move on to Nora from Raleigh.
Let's go for it.
Okay, she said, I know you often recommend magnesium supplements. There seems to be many different types. Yes. Will you explain the different types and which one is recommended? This can tie into the previous question, actually, because magnesium is very important for many things, sleep being one of them, right? It's also a stress reliever. It can help us feel relaxed. It can help with muscle tension and cramps, blood pressure, headaches. I mean, the list is long. Bone density for women. I am a big proponent of magnesium. If you have seen me as a patient recently or ever, probably, I have probably recommended magnesium to you. And there are different forms. Yeah, there are different types. There are some forms that are better for things like constipation. And we'll talk about that a lot in our practice because the medications that we use, such as the appetite suppressant phentermine, can make it harder to use the bathroom. Plus diet changes, eating less, things like protein shakes can also sometimes slow down the movement in our gut. In which case, magnesium can help a lot. So you'll hear us recommend things like milk of magnesia or magnesium citrate. Those are going to be two that are more specifically helpful when we're trying to move things through the gut and have regular bowel movements and fight constipation. When it comes to sleep, I am a big proponent of magnesium glycinate. The glycine is an amino acid that can also help with sleep. And so when magnesium is chelated with that, it can help extra with just the relaxation effect and the anti-anxiety effect. And I have people who do sleep a lot better with adding magnesium of the glycinate type. There's also magnesium malate. I think that's better for like muscle cramps. And then magnesium L-threonate, which I recommend a lot to my migraine suffering patients because that one can cross the blood-brain barrier. I'm a big fan of those. We also recommend Slow Mag, right?
Yeah,
you're a big fan of that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Slow Mag because when you go on a ketogenic diet, at least, and let's say you've been off of it, and you go back on it. One of the things that happens is your magnesium gets low. And I think so you get these muscle cramps, and it's a real thing. It's a real phenomenon. You see it all the time, particularly if you're trying to do any sort of exercise while you're in this stage. And the problem with, you can go into any drugstore, and I promise they're going to have a bunch of cheap magnesium out there. They'll have a few different brands, and they'll have a lot of different bottles. And what they're selling is magnesium oxide, OXIDE. And milk of magnesia, which is magnesium hydroxide. And those things will give you diarrhea. Okay, let's just be honest with you. It's going to give you diarrhea.
If that's the goal.
If you don't want to absorb the magnesium and all you want to do is poop, go get those, okay? Because that's what they're going to do. And this is why I'm magnesium chloride, which sells under the brand name Slow Mag. So they put some calcium in there with it, which slows it down. Even calcium slows your bowel down. Okay, so magnesium chloride is that the breakdown process is slower and the absorption is longer, and then you have the calcium in there that keeps your bowel even more balanced. And so you have to look. This is unfortunate. You'll have like a bright. It's like Frito-Lay products at a grocery store. They always have them on the end of the aisle. Buy one bag, get one free if you got our card for the grocery store. It's on display, and that's what you see. This is the way the magnesium products are. All the ones that give you diarrhea are right there. Like, here, it's cheap. Buy it, right? And then the Slow Mag, which is about $15 to $16 for the 60 tablets, is buried somewhere. There's 2 or 3 bottles, and it'll be an obscure section. Okay, and you got to look for it. You may have to ask the pharmacist, or if you're really smart, just go to Amazon, type in Slow Mag. They'll have it to your door the next day. Yeah, and and the price is always good. And then you don't have to go through this hunting exercise in the pharmacies, right? So anyway, that's I've taken Slow Mag for years on and off, and it never gives me any diarrhea or anything like that. It immediately corrects the muscle cramping. If you have the muscle cramping, go ahead and start with 2 of those a day for a week, and then just switch to 1 a day thereafter. you're on a ketogenic diet, you have the muscle cramping, that's the way to do it. With Slow Mag, that's the brand I recommend. We got supplements here in our offices also. We do have the magnesium glycinate here, for example, right? So those, and I don't find that the glycinate really, at the dose we're talking about, diarrhea is a problem.
Yeah.
Right. It's really the oxide and the hydroxide. That's where the issue is.
Yeah.
All right. Candy wants to know, can we recommend probiotics? Yes, we have two here from Metagenics. We think they're the best brands. So we have Ultraflora and
we have 3 now.
Yes, Ultraflora Spectrum.
Yeah, we've carried 2 for a while.
Yes.
We have a full spectrum one that's just good for overall gut health. And then we have an Ultraflora Control by Metagenics. And that one has actually proven to reduce body weight. So
Control, Spectrum.
And then our newest one is an immune one. So we added that, what, 1.5 years, 2 years ago?
Yeah, they tailor these things. They tailor them to, with the bacterial species for certain endpoints like decreased infection, that sort of thing.
And these are small little capsules, usually take 1 a day with or without food. Definitely worth a try. I usually tell people, give a probiotic 30 days, see if you notice any benefits. Sometimes it's all gut-related benefits. People will regulate better with their bowels. They won't have as much bloating or cramping or whatnot. But some people have other benefits from probiotics. They have better energy. Their skin's better, right? Because our gut health is really important to our overall health, right? Just like sleep is important, right? No one thing is like in a silo by itself. Everything affects everything else. So some people, probiotics can really, really help them feel better, not just help them poop more. We also dropped a link to a blog about magnesium on our website in the comments section. So check that out. And the last thing I'll mention, just because I mention it to patients all the time with the magnesium, is there is a powder. So I do have patients who have a little bit of pill fatigue. There is a powder called Natural Calm that I recommend a lot. It is a magnesium citrate powder, and I really like it because it is calming, but is also the citrate form for those individuals who are suffering from any constipation. It will also help the bowels move. You just don't take too much, or it will give you diarrhea, right? You take just enough, and everyone's dose is kind of limited by how much their bowels can handle. That's a teaspoon, a tablespoon, what have you. And that product is pretty easy to find online and in places like like Whole Foods and Vitamin Shop and GNC and such. Elise is asking, is it good to take both a pre and probiotic? It's a great question. Yeah, so prebiotics, if we can get them in our food, that is ideal. So a lot of fibrous foods can really act as prebiotics. But there are supplements that you can get as prebiotics. I like to have people just eat fibrous foods. Yes. Right. And that acts as their prebiotic. Yep. It doesn't require, a good probiotic doesn't need to have a prebiotic in it. If you're having prebiotics naturally through your diet, you don't need to also take a prebiotic with your probiotic. Yep. I agree with that. Good question. Okay. Go on to Wanda. Yeah, Wanda from Durham wants to know, are appetite suppressants safe for long-term use? The answer is yes. How long can you really be on them? Forever. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. They could do a whole show, could do several shows on this. I talk about this day in, day out. And I promise that if most of you go to see your doctor, whatever their specialty is, your primary care type person, some of you, I might see an OBGYN, for example, instead of a primary care person. What I'll just say is that they, if they were like me, and most of them are, they had no training in this whatsoever. They couldn't tell you a single thing factually about these sorts of medications because they don't prescribe them and they weren't taught them. So you can't blame them when they don't know. And that they may, unfortunately, give false information. Okay, or misinformation, and they're thinking they're giving you the right information. Okay, so I've made mention of this on this show before. It's not easy being a nurse practitioner or a doctor in a field. There was a time in this country 150 years ago when you could kind of know it, right? Okay, but this sea of information that is medicine now is so large that you know your little slice of the pie, and you can't see everything else's. So here's what doctors do. They look at the news
And this is the biggest mistake you can make. Okay, you look at the news and you see somebody who comes on for 30 seconds who purports to be an expert. Okay, sometimes that really means dingbat, but they come on there and they give you the breakdown of some little thing, and this is what you remember. And this is actually no substitute for genuine intellectual pursuit, which is to go to the medical literature with a question and to find out the answer to your question, right? And so there's not time in a doctor's day to do that intellectual pursuit. I don't feel like when I get home at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I don't feel like going to the internet and doing a literature search on a topic after I've been up since 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning and working, right? And this is the way it is. And so I don't blame those folks for maybe having perpetuated the idea that appetite suppressants or stimulants are bad for people. There are a few contraindications that you talk about here, but they're not a lot of contraindications, and they've proven themselves to be very, very safe over a 63 years history of widespread use around the world. And so our problem in this nation and around civilized societies anywhere in the world is obesity. And obesity will kill you much faster than any of these sort of medications. And so don't believe anything to the contrary. Not only will obesity kill you, it's going to take you down with a whole bunch of morbidities along the way. The things that you know that run in that pack, as I've always said. So the diabetes, the lipid problems, the inflammation, the vascular problems, the hypertension. These are things that go along with it, and just, it's like you're in a boxing match and you just keep getting punched and punched. And finally, in the 15th round, you're out, right? Okay, that's kind of the way it is. And that's the real problem. It's not the fact that we have appetite suppressants, okay? More of the world needs appetite suppressants right now, and they need to know the truth about them. All right, so yes, we can induce by appetite suppressants. We're not scared to prescribe them to you, and we think that they're helpful.
Yes. And the FDA thinks it's okay to take them long-term too, because 10 years ago, they approved phentermine for long-term use under the name Qsymia, just by putting it with another old cheap drug called topiramate, which we also use. How
many people do you know that were on Adderall and Ritalin? So as children and as adults, they're on it, and there is no end in sight. Okay. So stimulants have been approved in one form or the other for long-term use.
Yes.
Yeah. And so anyway, I don't want you to be scared of them. I want you to be scared of what would happen if you just let your weight go unaddressed. Yeah.
Yeah, good question, Wanda. We're going to move on to Gigi from Morrisville, currently trying to intermittent fast. Does drinking coffee with creamer break your fast? Not a fan of black coffee. A lot of people aren't. If it is heavy cream or half and half and there is no sugar in there, yes, you can absolutely include it. No problem at all. It will not break your fast. So you do not have to drink your coffee black. If it's like an International Delight caramel macchiato creamer, that will break your fast. All right. We do not want to put that in there. But generally speaking, the heavy cream and half, totally fine.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the heavy cream. It's 100% milk fat. That's it. Nothing else in it. And when you fast, you train your body to burn fat as the energy source. So having a little fat in the coffee goes right along with that. We just don't want any protein or carbohydrate in there. And so I would encourage you to do that. And you can still call it a fast and look yourself in the mirror and be okay with it.
Liquids allowed, right? That won't break your fast during a fasting period are water, sparkling water, coffee, tea, broth. That's it. Don't put anything in there but fat, and you're good to go. All right. Courtney from Durham, been hearing that it's better to avoid seed oils such as avocado and olive oil. What are your thoughts on this? You're correct in the first part. Yes, we should be avoiding seed oils, but avocado and olive oil are not what we would lump into that category. It would be more like vegetable, canola, cottonseed, soybean. Those are inflammatory oils. If you think about it, if you squeeze an olive, you really will be able to get oil out of it. If you squeeze a cottonseed, you will not. And vegetable oil, I don't know any vegetable that you really will squeeze other than an olive, and that's actually considered fruit, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and avocado is considered fruit as well. So really, there's no vegetable you're going to squeeze oil out of.
Yeah, that's right.
But avocados you can, olives you can, right? Coconuts, that meat is oily. So I'm a big fan of, I use myself olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, and then sometimes MCT oil for dressing, which is just a refined type of coconut oil.
So I agree with that. And I just would say that this is further evidence that this should drive you back to naturally occurring oils that come from animals. These are not bad things. We said it on here before.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Animal fat is not bad. And I think the high omega-6 content that is in vegetable oils, like you talked about, bean and seed oils, these things are pro-inflammatory and may in fact be aggravating a lot of health problems. Yeah.
And unfortunately, those are the predominant oils used in restaurants, fast food chains. If you're buying anything in the store like fried food, potato chips, right, frozen French fries, sadly you will find those are the oils that are used.
Safflower, peanut oil, all that sort of thing.
I didn't mention those. So thanks for bringing those up.
Yeah.
But when you cook at home, you want to be using avocado, olive, coconut, or animal fats like lard.
Real butter.
Lard, the bacon fat that you rendered, right, when you were cooking your bacon. Don't be afraid of that stuff.
Yep. All right. That was a good question. Avery from Raleigh. This is a good question.
This is a very good question.
Why is corn so bad for you? Well, it's not nutritionally really.
Doesn't really have anything going on but sugar and a slight corn flavor. There's a really good little book called Eat Bacon, Don't Jog. And there's a chapter in there
about corn.
And it says, all corn is candy corn.
Yeah,
that is the title of the chapter.
That's right.
And it's not untrue. Corn is, I think, tied with soy as number 1/2 most genetically modified product. And if our ancestors had tried to eat what corn was before it got modified, they would have been unable to eat it or digest it in any way.
Yeah.
So what we've done to corn to make it sweet and juicy has unfortunately made it totally devoid of any nutritional benefit whatsoever.
I have figured out that there is one legitimate use of corn, and that is to ferment for the purpose of making bourbon. And
there you go.
That's it. And then really, in which case the corn itself is thrown out and the bacteria changes the form to alcohol. And this is the only seemingly legitimate use that I can find for corn. It's ethanol. So, I mean, you can also use it in these gasoline mixtures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
there's a good use.
I mean, what's going in your gas tank? Does that sound like something you want to put in your body?
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Exactly. Corn chips, corn tortillas.
Yeah.
Yes. Corn that,
There are reasons that corn has gotten a bit of a bad rap, unfortunately. And corn kind of fits into the category of foods that when you're on a lower carbohydrate or ketogenic diet, we're going to recommend that you avoid because of how much profound impact it has on your blood sugar and then your insulin. And you can't be burning fat when you're busy burning sugar from the corn that you're eating.
Yeah.
So we are going to advise our patients to stay away from it. And even if you're not low carb, we don't want to be eating tons and tons of corn, again, because the nutritional density is just not there. It's just not offering you nourishment the way other vegetables
empty calories,
will. Yes, empty
really
calories, exactly. We have a question from Candy. Which fruits have less sugars? Oh, that's easy. Berries.
Yes.
All
I
the
think we're
berries.
back.
Sorry.
Yes.
The computer died
Yes,
that we
camera
were
died.
recording on.
And so anyway, yes, berries and green apples. That was our answer. And we need to
tart
announce,
apples.
we need to thank, well, first, thanks everybody for watching.
Yes, thank you so much.
Our
And for
Target
always letting
gift
our
card
technology.
winner, right? The $25 Target gift card winner
Candace!
is Candace. Candace, we will reach
Yay!
out to you.
Yes, we'll let you know. Thank you so much for everyone who attended live today and for everyone who commented and asked us questions. We'll be back in 2 weeks. So send in your questions. Like this video, share it. You can watch it recorded. Hope you learned a lot and hope you have a good week.
Stay away from corn, everybody. All right. See you.